What's going on, everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Andre Brown. I'm a wedding portrait photographer and videographer based out of Atlanta, Georgia. And it's been nearly 5 years, 5 long years, but I finally made it to YouTube. Not too long after I started my photography journey, I had many colleagues and friends who said, "You should start a YouTube channel."
You can do it, Nikki!
But if anybody knows me, they know that I hate to be on camera. I hate to be in the spotlight. So it took a very long time for me to get here, to build up that courage, to get in front of you all and just kind of put myself out there. But I hope the information that you learn on this channel will help take you to new heights, give you a little bit more insight about what it is I do with my business. And, hopefully it helps you along the way. So for this first video, I want to talk about the first thing that people ask you whenever they see your work. The most important question of all: what's in your bag? So why don't we start right there? Let's start with the bag itself. So me, I don't use a traditional camera bag. This bag is just a satchel bag that I got from Coach. I like to think of myself as slightly stylish, right? And I just wanted something a little bit different from just the traditional bag that was out there. Most things are black and gray and that sort of thing, which is fine because it helps to blend into our clothing when we're out there on wedding days. But I just wanted something with a little bit of extra flair. So it's pretty straightforward, standard bag. There's a pocket here on the top. Little pocket here in the front where you can store little things, which I don't really put anything in there because I carry a rolly bag with me that has like other accessories and stuff that I need. But for the most part, what I did was I took the insert out of another camera bag that I had and then just stuck it inside of this one, right? Put you guys some light in there, right? Just stuck it inside of this one. So then that way I could have my camera inside, I can have my lenses inside, and everything will be all divided up. Now the next thing, and probably the most important thing to some, is we're gonna talk about the body that I carry. So I use the Canon 1DX Mark II currently. If you don't know any information about this camera, there's plenty out there on the internet, but I'm sure everyone does, as they now have the 1DX3 that's out on the market as well. But making the transition over to this camera, it really took my work to another level. Most of the time, you hear, photography is all about the photographer and not necessarily the camera. And I do 100% believe that that's true. But the dynamic range on this camera, coming from the Canon 5D Mark III and then over to the 5D Mark IV, which I didn't like. I literally had that camera for about 4 or 5 weeks before I ended up selling it and getting the 1DX Mark II. And when I got this camera, just the dynamic range on the camera, it just really helped to excel my photography to another level. So kudos to Canon. I know there's going to be, Nikon and Sony fans out there that are like Canon haters, but hey, we all have, our own preferences in gear. We all do amazing work, and, we all get the job done. So next, we'll talk about my favorite lens. Literally, all of my friends, anytime I post a photo, somebody asks me, "What lens are you using?" I just kind of give them the side eye emoji because they already know what lens is the first one to come out of my bag. And this is my workhorse, the 70-200 Mark II. I use this lens literally for everything, bridal portraits, bridal prep, groom prep, everything under the sun, decor, anything that you could possibly think of. This is generally going to be the first lens that I go to, and it's done me well. It's definitely time for me to upgrade, but in due time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So the second lens that I use the majority of the time is the Canon 24 to 70 Mark II. That combination with the 70 to 200 and the 24 to 70, that definitely helps me cover the entire gambit in terms of focal lengths. Now, it doesn't give me it doesn't allow me to go down to the 1.8s and the 1.2s and things like that. But truthfully, for me, I prefer the flexibility of just, being able to use zoom lenses, having to go back and forth and change multiple lenses in the same scenario. It's kind of cumbersome, and just for me personally, it just doesn't fit what it is that I do. But who am I? I'm just one guy, doing what I love. And, you may have something else that works for you, a prime setup, the 35, 50, 85 setup, and with the 135 on the long side. But do me a favor. I want you guys to go down in the comments and comment below and let me know, what is your go-to lens? What's your favorite lens that no matter what, if you just had a body and one lens, what would be that one lens that you would go to? Go down to the comments. Be sure to comment below so that I can read them, and I'll read all of the comments. Now, the next lens that's in my bag, I really don't use that often, but it definitely has a need when I need it, and that is the Canon 100mm macro. Great for ring shots, great for detail shots, great for portraits too. If you decide that you want to break it out and use it for portrait sessions. It's definitely a really great lens. Super, super sharp. But literally on a wedding day, I might take this out for, a max of 30 minutes throughout the day. Then it's back in my bag and then I'm not using it again. Also, I have the Canon 85mm it's the 1.8. And honestly, I have the 1.8 because I really don't use it that often. I know that the 1.2 and then the newer 1.4 are great lenses. I borrow my buddies all the time his 1.4, and I get some really crisp lenses. But that's mainly if I'm doing portrait sessions and I'm not going to be doing like a bunch of lens changes or needing to change lenses at a high pace because there's a ceremony going on or something of the sort. But I really just have this as a backup in low light situations where I'm shooting a wedding and, again, the light is low and, I need those extra stops of light in order to be able to let more light into the camera. But, I have it here if I need it, right? Also, one sec. The 50mm. Again, this is the same as the 85. I rarely ever use this lens. I bought it just for that. Those low light situations where I need a different shot that the 85 is too much for, and I need just a little bit more space. Then I have my 50mm, and I can get some wider composition shots. But again, I can probably count on one hand how many times I've used this lens. So now let's talk about the lighting. When I first started, I was, using Canon speed lights. I actually started off with the Young Nuo 540s, and then switched over to the Canon, the Young Nuo 600s, and then the Canon 600s, and they served me well for a time. And great lights, they get the job done. But sometime in early 2019, I switched over and I got the Godox 8200 Pros. I love this light. As you know, it's 3 times more powerful than a speed light, so it gives me the flexibility so that I could go in and use them for reception or ceremony lighting at a wedding, but I can also take them out and use them as portraits or whatever in high sun. And you know, I have multiples, so these are 2, but I actually have, you know, 4 of them. So if I need that power, if I need, you know, multiple lights in a reception setup, then I do have them here. Now, I do have some other gear that I'm not able to show right now, mainly because I'm using them for this setup, right? So I'm recording on my backup camera, which is the Canon EOS R. To be completely honest, I've just been using it for backup and as, you know, but mainly as a video camera since I do videography too. It's a great camera though, very inexpensive, and it definitely gets the job done on the photo and video side. I've done a lot of comparisons, you know, with my buddy, with our, you know, 1DX2s, and it's able to provide a really great image that, you know, for photo and video that, you know, my clients love. I'm also recording with my Canon 16 to 35, and it's the Mark II. And, you know, another great lens. It helps me to be able to go in and get, you know, really dramatic environmental portraits, as well as during ceremonies, and I want to get low and get that super wide shot of, you know, decor, maybe just like a dramatic, you know, scene while the couple is standing at the altar. That lens has served me well, but even that's another lens that really just doesn't come out of my bag too often. On this side here, I actually have the Godox 8400, which literally has been a prop. I bought the light, actually bought 2, and I haven't even used them yet. But great light if you all need, you know, light for portraits or something of the sort. Definitely go check out the 8400. And then on this side, I have an 8600, which I've used that for, you know, portraits and stuff quite a few times, and that is a powerful light. Great tool to have in your bag if you're doing portraits. So as we were talking about my lights, I'm sure that you saw that I had the MagMod attachment, and I love MagMod's products. They're very easy to use. They're not cumbersome like some of the other things that were out there when I first started in photography. So the first opportunity that I got to get them, like I literally jumped on them, and it's been a great thing. So I have the MagMod modifiers on all of my flashes. So my 4 mono lights, as well as my on-camera flash. So then I have the MagMod MagSphere. I have 3 of these. There are literally some situations where I do need, you know, all 3, but you know, it's a great modifier. Sometimes I'll take it and I'll throw a grid on the back so that it will focus the light a little bit more, but still give that spread when it's needed. But you know, both of these are really great tools. And gels. Gotta love gels. I'm sure you all have seen many photos with people, you know, using gels to enhance their images. I don't use them as much as I would like to. But you know, with this MagMod system, carrying them around and then being able to throw them on and take them off and like test and try things is definitely a wonderful thing. But you know, I think that's about it for what's in my bag. So if you like this video, go ahead, hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe as well if you want to see more videos like this. And I hope you all will, you know, decide to come back and check out my channel and check out future videos. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you all in the next video.